When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, professional astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, we will look at Lunar New Year 2026, which kicks off the year of the fire horse on the Aquarius new moon solar eclipse. Stay tuned until the end of the episode when I give my forecast for each zodiac sign during the year of the fire horse, including important months for each sign. And stay tuned for recommendations during the last part of the episode on how to use this Lunar New Year energy and the new moon in Aquarius all year long. Welcome to the episode on the Lunar New Year of the fire horse, initiated at the solar eclipse new moon in Aquarius. February 17, 2026 marks a potent threshold because the Lunar New Year and a new moon solar eclipse coincide on the same day, both activating the last degree of Aquarius. This is a rare energetic convergence, linking Eastern cyclical wisdom of the Lunar New Year with Western eclipse initiation, signaling a collective reset with far-reaching consequences. Stay tuned until the end of the episode to hear recommendations on how to use this energy so you can ride the wave all year long. Lunar New Year, the fire horse, inaugurates on February 17, 2025, and goes until February 5th, 2027. February 17th augurs a power-packed day, ringing in Lunar New Year at the Aquarius new moon solar eclipse. Lunar New Year occurs annually, every year, at the new moon in Aquarius, which can occur anytime during the Aquarian equinox every year, which spans between February 20th through February 18th. This year is quite interesting because it occurs in the very last degree of Aquarius, 29. So it's symbolizing endings, the end of an era, as well as new beginnings, being the new year. The Lunar New Year marks the first new moon of the lunar calendar, a sacred reset point honored for thousands of years across East Asian cultures, including Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Tibetan, and other lineages. Unlike the solar New Year, which emphasizes linear time and external goals, the Lunar New Year is rooted in cyclical time, renewal, and alignment with nature's rhythms. This is not just a date on the calendar. It is a cosmic threshold, a moment when the moon and sun meet in darkness, symbolizing the fertile void where intention, destiny, and future pathways are seeded. In ancient cosmologies, the Lunar New Year was understood as a reset of fate and fortune, a cleansing of karmic residual from the prior year. It's a moment to align personal will with cosmic timing in astrology. New moons always initiate cycles, but the Lunar New Year is unique because it initiates an entire energetic year, not just a monthly chapter. So, before I go deeper into this episode, the Lunar New Year can be initiated for the whole month, from this new moon in Aquarius to the new moon in Pisces. So it's not just about the day, it's about that whole month. So you have time. You have time to set your intentions and due diligence with what you want to bring in in the year of the fire horse, which again goes until February of 2027. The Lunar New Year is celebrated in Asian countries as the start of their new lunar cycle to seed new auspicious outcomes. This year, 2026, it's eclipsed because a solar eclipse happens on the same day. So all this means is we won't see the fruits of our intentions immediately, maybe not even for a month or so. But it's still wise to set your intentions, do your fire ceremonies, and group activities and activations. Take into account when planning a ritual for Lunar New Year, which actually includes the 2 weeks between February 17th, 2026 through March 3rd, 2026. At its core, the Lunar New Year represents purification, reordering of your life force. Think about your destiny, release your ego, and allow the divine to show you your destiny for the coming year and the coming years. The beauty is also that the ledger of the previous year is closed. Let bygones be bygones. New karmic contracts become available. Another wild thing is that ancestral blessings are more accessible. So that means any of your ancestors who have passed away, including parents, can work with you at this time and help you bring through what the next level of your life is. The veil between intention and manifestation is open. So align yourself so you can bring it forth. This is why rituals, prayers, offerings, and conscious acts performed during this time carry amplified potency. And again, like I said, optimally from this new moon on February 17th through the full moon March 3rd, 2026. And remember, this year they're both eclipsed. So give yourself that whole month from February 17th until March 18th, 19th, 20th. March 20th is the vernal equinox, and I believe it's also a new moon. So that is also another time that you can have to cast your intentions. But it's really good to get very clear during this Lunar New Year. So let's look at the year of the horse. Previous horse years in Chinese zodiac system were in 2014, that was the most recent, 2002, 1990, 1978, 1966, 1954, and 1942. But what does it mean to not just be a horse year, but the year of the fire horse? The last year of the fire horse was 1966, 60 years ago. Each Chinese zodiac year occurs 12 years apart, but the same animal and element only occurs every 60 years. So again, those dates I gave you, 2014, 2002, 1990, 1978, 1966, 1954, 1942, all horse years, but the only fire horse year was 1966, and then 60 years before that. But I don't think people are alive from that. So if we think back to that year, 1966, the last year of the fire horse, what happened collectively? Well, it was a pivotal time. There was a major astrological planetary event that occurred in 1966 called the Uranus-Pluto conjunction, which was a marker that redefined society in the coming years. Interestingly enough, in 2026, we're not just having one major astrological planetary marker, we're having 4 major astrological shifts. Let's go through what they are. Neptune transits into Aries on 12626. Saturn transits into Aries on 21326. Uranus transits into Gemini on April 23rd, and at the end of June, Jupiter transits into the sign Leo. Jupiter shifts every year, so that's not such a biggie. But Uranus shifts every 7 years, Saturn shifts every 2.5 to 3 years, and Neptune shifts every 12 years. So all this convergence of these major outer planet shifts happening in 2026 shows us that something big is coming. If we think back to what happened in 1966, the previous Fire Horse year, it marked a transitional time from the early 1960s. Think of the early Beatles, mop tops, and matching suits. I want to hold your hand. To the Beatles going psychedelic, hanging out with Mahesh Yogi on his ashram in India with Donovan, Mike Love, and Mia Farrow, taking up Eastern spirituality, and then transiting after that into their taking LSD and psychedelics, which influenced their music and album covers, such as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Or think of the early Beach Boys, California Girls, Surfer Girls, that went into Pet Sounds and other variations of the music as Brian Wilson was experimenting with psychedelics. So we're coming to another transitional time where life was so up until this time, and then it gets really, really crazy. Big cultural shifts occurred during the cycle in 1966 because it also coincided with that Uranus-Pluto conjunction of 1966 through 1967. There was revolutionary activity. By the way, during 2026, we already have Pluto transiting through the early degrees of Aquarius, a revolutionary sign this time around. So buckle up with everybody's talking about revolution. You say you want a revolution. That song actually came out by the Beatles, I believe, in like 1967. During 1966, there were worldwide government and military coups and uprisings against those in power. The Vietnam War escalated, and there were massive anti-war protests around the world. There were civil rights marches and race riots in the U.S. Black power was rising in opposition to the historical treatment in the United States of those of color. And the Black Panther Party was formed in 1966, along with the emergence of other revolutionary groups protesting the government and status quo. So, what can we expect in 2026 during this Fire Horse year? Let's break it down. Horse, as an animal in the Chinese zodiac, is yang, meaning outward, mobile, freedom-loving, untameable animal. Fire, the element in Chinese medicine, the most volatile, catalytic, and transformative of the 5 elements. When fire meets horse, the result is raw momentum. This will not be a quiet year. This is not a cautious year. This is a year that moves history. In Chinese astrology, the horse symbolizes independence and sovereignty, physical vitality and stamina, speed, travel and migration, charisma, leadership, and visibility. Refusal to be confined or controlled. Horses do not tolerate stagnation. They are wired for movement and forward motion. In a horse year, collective energy pushes toward breaking out of restrictive systems, leaving situations that feel confining, choosing autonomy over security, reclaiming personal agency. Then we have to look at what is fire. In Chinese medicine, fire is the element symbolized by the organ of the heart, or the heart meridian, which connects to our spirit called Shen. Fire is passion, will, spirit, instinct, illumination, and destruction. Remember, you can light a fire for warmth and heat and to cook on, or it can burn down a house. Fire reveals truth, but it also burns away what is false. In Chinese metaphysics, fire governs leadership and authority, technology and rapid innovation, war, rebellion, and uprising, enlightenment experiences, and nervous system and emotional reactivity. Fire years are not neutral. They demand conscious engagement. The fire horse has a reputation, especially in East Asian folklore, as dangerous, disruptive, and uncontrollable. In Japan, fire horse years, most recently 1966, were so feared that birth rates dropped dramatically. Why? Because fire horse energy is associated with radical independence, defiance of social norms, overthrow of authority, refusal to submit, especially for women. Events that change the course of families, nations, or eras occur during fire horse years. The shadow of fire horse can be impulsive, reckless, or destructive. At its highest expression, it is liberation incarnate. Fire horse years mark turning points, as I mentioned earlier, about 1966. They can bring revolutions or uprisings, cultural rebellions, explosive innovation, shifts in leadership, rapid collapses of outdated systems, mass movements towards freedom. There can be challenges to centralized authority. And we also see the emergence of bold, unconventional leaders. There's an acceleration of technological and cultural movements. There's a refusal to go back to what no longer works. The fire horse does not rebuild old systems, it outruns them. They are not subtle years, they are threshold years. 2026 in particular amplifies this because it begins with a new moon solar eclipse. It coincides with major outer planet transition, and it follows years of collective pressure and compression. So this is a release year. Because fire is the element of the heart or spirit in Chinese medicine, as a fire year, 2026 also augurs to be a year of spiritual growth. There can be key spiritual themes that arise for individuals in society in 2026, such as choosing authenticity over approval, acting from inner truth, not conditioning, moving boldly even without guarantees, trusting instinct as sacred intelligence. This year, 2026, the Fire Horse year, will reward courage, alignment, embodied leadership. Leadership where people walk the walk and talk the talk.
Amen.
No more false narratives. The proof is in the pudding. Decisive action rooted in soul, not ego. The fire horse does not ask for perfection. It asks for integrity. Stay tuned because I will make recommendations during the last part of the episode on how to use this fire horse energy and new moon in Aquarius all year long. Hi there, this is Jill Jardine, host of Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine Podcasts. I just wanted to let my listeners know that I published a book, Sacred Sound Formulas to Awaken the Modern Mind. It's available at Amazon and through my new website, JillJardine.com. Check it out.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
The other thing we need to remember about this Lunar New Year on February 17, 2026, it's a solar eclipse, new moon in Aquarius, which kicks off Lunar New Year in the final degree known as the energetic degree of Aquarius. This is a fated future forward initiation. The new moon in Aquarius on February 17th aligns with the annular solar eclipse, intensifying its power as a point of no return. Go back and listen to my episodes about eclipses throughout the years, specifically back in 2021, 2022 on Cosmic Scene. But just as a reminder, eclipses accelerate timelines. They don't merely suggest change, they set it in motion, often through events or realizations that feel destined, both personally and collectively. This eclipse occurs at 29 degrees Aquarius, the final and most charged degree of the sign known as the energetic degree. This degree carries themes of completion and culmination, urgency and catharsis, evolution beyond outdated patterns. In Aquarius, this speaks to collective clearing and the reboot of social structures and group affiliations, communities, networks, and alliances. We'll see a reboot in technology, innovation, and start seeing the way to future pathways. We'll see more authentic self-expression within the collective. At its essence, this eclipse acts as a cosmic course corrector, dismantling stagnant dynamics and reorienting us toward more aligned visionary forms of connection. Go back and listen to my February 2026 Astro Update podcast, where I talk about this new moon on February 17th and the Sabian symbol. But just to re-enlighten you, the Sabian symbol for 29 degrees Aquarius is, quote, a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. It perfectly captures the essence of this eclipse, which is irreversible metamorphosis. This is not a gentle transition. It is a decisive emergence. The chrysalis phase is over. What has been incubating beneath the surface, personally and collectively, now demands expression. This includes liberation from old identities or roles, a sudden readiness to be seen differently. Evolution that has been going on cannot be undone. You can't go back. This is societally and personally. There is a release from obsolete group dynamics. Good luck, political parties.
Hey, good luck.
There's a call to step up into more visible, authentic roles within a community or causes. So collectively, this eclipse Lunar New Year convergence signals shifts in leadership, alliances, and social movements. There'll be breakthroughs in technology or collective organization. And we will see in the coming months a reorientation toward future-focused humanitarian solutions. On a personal level, people can expect new beginnings in friendships, collaborations, or communities that you connect with. You might have a reset on how you share ideas and align with group visions. And you might be invited to participate in something larger than yourself. So open the doors for those connections. Because eclipse effects unfold over 6 to 18 months, what begins now may only reveal its full significance later in 2026 or beyond. February 17, 2026 is a threshold day, a moment of destined departure and future formation. The Lunar New Year sets the cycle. The Aquarian eclipse seals the initiation. Together, they mark the end of one collective storyline and the emergence of another, bold, visionary, and irrevocably new. So how can we use all this powerful cosmic energy at the Lunar New Year and solar eclipse? Remember, we have a 2-week window to initiate the energies in our life from February 17th through March 3rd, 2026. March 3rd, 2026 is the lunar eclipse. So we have this eclipse window for those 2 weeks. During a Lunar New Year, treat the first 15 days as sacred. So that, again, is that time period. There's things you can do prior to the lunar eclipse to ensure a healthy and prosperous Lunar New Year. Clearing and clearing are of utmost importance during this time to make space for the new. Here are some things you can do to start a cleanse or detoxification process, such as clean your house and clear the clutter. Make sure all the lights are working, clean windows and polish mirrors. Have plenty of fresh flowers and colorful fruit displayed during this time, that 2-week window from February 17th through March 3rd. If you have fresh fruit displayed, it will enhance prosperity in the coming year. Oranges and tangerines represent money and wealth. Pineapples represent fame and promotion. And apples bring in good health and safety. Write out your lists of intentions and give yourself another opportunity to implement the New Year's resolutions you made on January 1st, 2026. And here are some more suggestions on how to use this energy. Channel fire into purpose. Unconscious fire becomes chaos. Directed fire becomes vision, leadership, and creation. Where does your energy want to move? What truth are you ready to act on? What risks feel aligned, not reactive? Move the body. Horse energy must move. Practices that harmonize with 2026. Walking, hiking, pilgrimages, dance, yoga, martial arts, breath work. Travel with intention. Stagnation is more harmful than motion this year. Make decisive, soul-aligned choices. Lead with the heart, not ego. Have an increased sense of self-awareness. Emotionally regulate. Don't let your emotions go too far or take hold of you. And have a willingness to pause before reacting. The Lunar New Year reminds us that life doesn't renew itself through willpower alone, but through rhythm, reverence, and right timing. February 17, 2026 is not just the beginning of a new year. It is an invitation to step onto a truer path, one aligned with who you really are. This is a year-defining moment. Themes of this Lunar New Year include destiny pivots, release of outdated identities, rapid spiritual maturation, collective and personal course correction. You can also clear ancestral residual, honor your lineage and legacy, and set intentions that ripple outward into family, community, and future generations. Because the Lunar New Year lands in Aquarius, the emphasis moves away from the purely personal and toward the collective field. Our shared future, communal values, technological evolution, and humanitarian responsibilities. You might think of how can I contribute to the greater whole, or what structure, systems, or social roles are ready to be reimagined. This is a good time before the actual new moon. So the 2 days before the new moon, from the 15th of February to the 17th of February, when the sky is dark, make time for silence, rest, dream incubation, prayer rather than action. And set intentions that are directional, not rigid. So you may say affirmations to yourself. I align with the path that brings clarity and courage. I choose integrity over urgency. This allows destiny to collaborate with you rather than be focused. So take the time at this very potent, pivotal time of the year to really relax, release, set intentions for healing of self and others and the world. Stay tuned when I come back for the sun sign forecast for each zodiac sign for the Fire Horse year 2026. Welcome to the part of the episode where I explain what the Lunar New Year of the Fire Horse means for each zodiac sign all year long. So listen up. Aries, this is your year of initiation and leadership by fire. You'll experience decisive beginnings, bold self-definition, and begin some new paths. You're going to come from instinct instead of hesitation, but with maturity. This year can mark a major personal and professional breakthrough. So it is your chance to lead, but don't burn bridges. The months that are especially important for you, Aries, are March, June, and December. Taurus, you're liberated from stagnation. Fire horse energy challenges Taurus to loosen its grip on what's been familiar. 2026 brings in new energies to restore true value and vitality. Flexibility becomes your superpower this year. You're going to choose growth over comfort and watch how your values shift and change as you evolve. Your months of importance, Taurus, are May, August, and September. Gemini, this is your year of movement, momentum, and more. It's going to be a very fast year because we have to throw in Uranus going through your sign. So be ready for anything. You get lit up socially, mentally, and physically. Opportunities can come through communication, teaching, writing, speaking, and travel. You have to focus. Focus, focus, focus. You can get much more done. And you have to walk your walk because you talk your talk, but now you have to show everybody, or as we would say, put your money where your mouth is. Your important months, Gemini, are April, June, and October. Cancer. Wow, you're going to really feel some shifts as you get shaken out of emotional over-accommodation. You don't have to dance and skirt around other people's emotions. Honor your own. Claim your inner authority. Redefine what's security for you. And move towards becoming more independent emotionally, financially, and professionally. This means you're putting yourself first. Nurture yourself. Do what you need. Self-protection, self-preservation. Trust your inklings. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. When have they ever served you wrong, Cancer? Only when other people have told you, nah. So this is a year of you coming out of your shell and feeling secure. Your lucky months or important months, Cancer, are March, June, and July. Leo, this is your year of creative fire. Light those fires, baby, and tend to them and see what comes up. It's a powerful year for you also to be recognized. Throw your ego in the fire. This fire horse year asks you to embody authentic radiance, not performing. You're going to lead from your heart and be generous and really let your heartfelt desires lead you. And there is some magnanimous energy that you will share. You're going to express yourself and you'll be surprised by the creative gifts that want to be expressed. Shine without dominating. Your months of importance are June, July, and August. Have a great summer, Leo. Virgo, you're redefining what your purpose is in 2026 with all aspects of self. This means your dharma, career, your family, and your relationships. Release perfectionism and control. Stop over analyzing. Go back to your innate wisdom and be guided from there. Your intuition is there beneath the surface. Calm your mind and take more intuitive and impulsive action with preparation. Stop overthinking. Your lucky months are January, May, and September. Virgo. Libra, it's always about relationships for you, and it continues in the year of the fire horse. So you're going to see which are the relationships that will stick and which are the relationships to release. No more people pleasing and adapting to others' needs. You need to connect with your soul authentically and find those who resonate with you. No more keeping the peace or harmony and sacrificing your own needs. You're looking for integrity in partnership and relationships in 2026, Libra. Your important months are February, June, and October. Scorpio. Wow, it's a powerful year of purification and purpose. You know how to transform things. You're the veritable phoenix arising from the ashes. And that's what 2026 has for you. It's a year of deep purging, energy detoxification, and reclamation of your power. Who you thought you were or who you tried to be no longer serves. You're empowered through releasing the false self. Things will come to an end, but again, you are the phoenix arising through the fire of the year of the fire horse. Your important months are March, July, and November. Sagittarius. This is a year of expansion. Very nice for the fire sign Sagittarius. Things will move. Very spiritually plugged in this year, Sagittarius. Your quest for meaning is lit up, but you have to follow through. Inspiration must be followed by action. And like your opposite sign, Gemini, you have to walk your talk. Your months of importance are March, July, and December. Capricorn, you're redefining your personal authority, which will then lead to new levels of success, looking at your responsibility and accountability in a different way. You are asked to build from purpose, not pressure. You may be asked to take a role of leadership, but it's different than those that you have taken before. And also, how can you be the leader of your own destiny, Capricorn? Your important months are January, May, and September. Aquarius, you are having a revolution, both internally and externally. You do very well with the fire horse energy because you've been waiting for a year of innovation and future-oriented thinking to get this party started. Pluto has transformed you in the last couple years, and now you're grounding your visions. You are innovating your life, reinventing yourself, and moving into your future, which will inspire the world. You're teaching others how to anchor change. Be the change you want to be in the world. You know all about that, Aquarius. Your important months are January, February, and October. And Pisces. It's time to consciously embody your spirituality. So that means being very present in your body. No more disconnects. It's going to be a year of boundaries that are supported increasing your confidence. Your sensitivity becomes your strength because you're going to feel an internal sense of courage. And it's time for you to honor and act on your intuition because you've been right on in the past and you certainly will be plugged in this year, Pisces. Your important months are March, July, and November. I hope you enjoyed this episode on the year of the Fire Horse, 2026, the solar eclipse, new moon in Aquarius, and how everybody is impacted by this new energy. Remember to download, share, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, riding that fire horse of inspiration and creativity into 2026 and beyond.